429. That's how many days somebody commented on my videos in a row asking for me to do this video. I want to give a huge shout out to the Pop Ninja, because if it weren't for you, this video would not be happening. So today, we're going to be taking a look at every single one of them. Now, before I show you my collection, if you've never heard of a Chase before, it's almost like a variant of a normal figure. Funko ships out their characters in a box of 6, and what'll happen is when there is a Chase, one of those figures will be different. And they will have a sticker on the front to indicate that it is the Chase version, and that's what we're going to be taking a look at today, because they are kind of like the rarer, more sought-after versions. Starting with Christmas, where we actually have 2 figures, the Grinch as well as Buddy the Elf. And now I'm gonna be honest, I don't really understand why the Grinch is blue. I believe it was something to do with like an older book where he actually was this color, and then when it comes to Buddy, he just has the Jack-in-the-Box in his hand instead of syrup. So 2 pretty fun ones. Next up, we've got Care Bears with True Heart Bear, Good Luck Bear, and Wish Bear. And actually, a little fun fact, most Care Bears do have chases where it's like a slight variant. So for these ones here, we've got flocked versions as well as translucent, and then I believe this one here actually is also translucent. And one thing that I really enjoy about the flocked Wish Bears that they actually gave it that flocked Chase sticker. I just love looking at that pink. Next up, we've got the comic book Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, with the 3 of them being Casey Jones, as well as, I always forget which ones I've got, Raphael and Donatello. These ones actually are all from the exact same set. Actually, all 6 of them from this line have a Chase. I've only just been able to find 3 of them. And another thing that I really enjoy, very similar to the way they did the flocked Chase sticker, these ones here actually have a black and white Chase one. I love that thing. All right, now let's take a look at animation, where I have Sentient Arm Morty, the Teddy Rick with glass in his eye, as well as the glow-in-the-dark Mr. Burns, and Rocco and Spunky. And I think out of these 4 here, my 2 favorites definitely are these ones over here, just because the Rick and Morty ones are cool, but their chases aren't that different. Like the normal Teddy Rick, he doesn't have blood or glass in his eye, and then when it comes to the Sentient Arm Morty, I'm pretty sure it's just the blood. Oh no, his arm is also down with a thumbs up instead of up like this. So they are cool, they're just not that crazy different. But for the Mr. Burns one here, he's completely green and he glows super, super bright. And then also with Rocco, they've made him look sick, which is a little bit weird, but it goes along well with the show. Now we've got South Park, where I actually have 2 chases, both Terrence and Phillip. Now, these aren't technically in the animation category, but I figured I would do it right after animation because they are very similar. They actually gave them their own line because of the amount of characters they have. And with these ones here, the main difference is the fact that they're holding a Canadian flag in their hand. I don't believe anything else on them is different, but I like the change. Especially because in the show, they are Canadian. What I do find really funny about these characters is that they're bobbleheads, and they actually bobble at their mouth. And now, if you haven't seen South Park before and don't understand the joke, that's how they talk in the show. Actually, every single Canadian is like that, and if I'm gonna be honest, I don't really see it. You know what? Let's jump into sports next, where I've got 2 pretty interesting ones, and I would consider both of these sports legends. I don't know, let me know what you guys think, but the 2 that I have is Sidney Crosby with the Stanley Cup, as well as Jackie Robinson. And now, Jackie Robinson is actually in the sports legends category, but when it comes to Sidney, he's just in the NHL one, I believe. Oh no, the pop hockey. And what I really enjoy about this one is the chase is the fact that he has the Stanley Cup. And then when it comes to Jackie Robinson, he is a complete bronze color like the statue out front of the stadium. It's funny, next up I've got television, and there are definitely some random ones here, like we've got Stranger Things, Bob Ross, and The Office. When it comes to Stranger Things, it's literally just Hopper without a hat on for the chase, and then Bob Ross is him with Hoot instead of... I don't actually remember who the other one was. Maybe a squirrel? I think so. They also changed it on the box, so it's a little bit hard to remember, but the painting is definitely different, and I know the animal is, I just don't remember what the common one was. And then when it comes to The Office, instead of it being the Dave Halloween costume for Jim, it's actually the Facebook version where it says book on his face. And then with Dwight, it's the basketball one where he's got no shirt on. It's a little bit weird. Okay, now let's talk about movies, because these here are some pretty expensive ones. Or at least the Jason Voorhees is, but then we also have Jack Torrance as well as Audrey 2 and then Smaug. Smog? Smaug. Either way, these here are some of my favorite chases in the collection, because the Jason Voorhees is actually a really, really expensive one, coming in at like around $500. And then the Jack Torrance is just such an interesting one, where they made him completely blue instead of the normal colors like he's frozen outside. The Audrey 2, though, I'm gonna be honest, is kind of a boring one. Just because the only difference is the fact that it's a bloody chase, and then when you take a look at it, sure, there's a little bit of blood coming out of its mouth, but it's really not that much. And then for Smaug, again, it's not that different, but I like that the chase is him with those eyes, because normally he's got black eyes for the pop, but then with this one here, they swapped it up to be these yellow ones, which makes them look even more realistic. And I remember when this one came out, I actually got it for like 40 bucks, so pretty much retail. Looks like Star Wars is up next, and we actually have two of them in the collection, and they're both from The Mandalorian. We've got Cobb Vanth as well as Bo-Katan, and actually both versions of them are the unmasked ones. So they are different enough that you'd probably want to pick up both of them, especially if you're going for the entire set. And I believe the only way that you can get this head for Cobb Vanth is with the Chase, and it might be the same with Bo-Katan, but there's a couple different versions of her, so I'm not 100% sure on that. Add icons, add icons, add icons! One of those sets that I've been trying to complete for years now, and it seems like it's never going to happen with the original ones being so expensive. But I can show you guys the Chases, because of course that's the point of the video today, where I've got the Hostess Twinkie as well as Ronald McDonald, and these are some interesting ones because the Twinkie the kid is actually like swapped up, so he's got a different cowboy hat on as well as bandana. And then the other one that I've got here is the Ronald McDonald that's only exclusive to Thailand. Like, you could only pick it up in that country. I was lucky enough to get it off a website. I don't remember which one. I think it was something like, where was the store? Maybe Simply Toys, I think? I'm not 100% on that one, but it was some other store that I don't normally order figures from. I did it so I got a Chase and a Common, and I believe it was like 80 bucks for both. Definitely worth it because I honestly have no clue how else I would get this one. Now let's talk about Disney, where again I've got some pretty pricey ones. And honestly, the Disney ones are some of the brightest in my collection. Like, there's just something about them that really stands out on the shelf. And so we've got the Diamond Edition Eeyore where he's blue instead of gray, and I really do like the colors on this one. As well as Max from Goof Troop and the black and white Cogsworth. Then we've got Stitch with his mouth open playing a record. It's too bad there wasn't like an Elvis quote somewhere on the box, but I understand they probably couldn't have thrown that on there. And then the last one that we've got over here is the Diamond Edition Yes. You know, from Ralph Breaks the Internet, the figure that's honestly not that expensive, but it is still cool to have. Like, I honestly think you could have found this Chase for maybe like 10 bucks at one point. It was not pricey at all. Now we're getting into DC, and this is actually a pretty interesting set because one of them was my first ever Chase. Do you see it? It's actually this one here, and I found it, I want to say, what year does it say on the bottom here? Back in like, 2013, 2014. I actually got it all the way back when Target was in Canada. They had like 6 of them on the shelf, and I was lucky enough to get this. And then we've also got Gamer Batman, Robot Batman, the Joker, which is a really interesting one because he's metallic as well as the paint on his face is like running down, and he's also got a different cap on, and then we've got a glow-in-the-dark version of Black Adam, which isn't really that crazy because it's the exact same as the original, but if you're gonna go for one, definitely go for this one. Now, I know a lot of you guys are really gonna like this next set because we've got anime. And if I'm gonna be honest, I pulled a couple of these from my brother's collection, so if I don't know their names exactly, excuse me on this one, but we've got the Sasuke Rasengan, I believe, Renengan, I hope. Then we also have Anbu Itachi as well as Anbu Kakashi. Then the other two are ones that I had in my collection. It is Tanjiro Glow-in-the-Dark as well as Edward Elric. And what I love about these is I believe they are the first ever, or no, I guess there was some earlier, but I might as well show them off now. It is the glow-in-the-dark sticker. Now, the only thing I wish about these figures was the fact that the stickers also glow in the dark, but they don't. Especially because with the color they chose for them, it would be amazing if they didn't. They've done glow-in-the-dark boxes before with like this one back here. Where is he? Dino, way in the back corner here. Like, the text on him glowed in the dark, so if they could have done the glow-in-the-dark stickers on these, it would have been amazing. I don't know. Marvel is the next set that I've got, and this is honestly the most Chases I have for one line. Because we've got Gamer Miles Morales as well as the unmasked Miles Morales. We've got the Gamer Deadpool, Gamer Groot, Wasp unmasked version, the blue Doctor Strange, as well as the Japanese series Spider-Man, where he actually glows in the dark. Then we've got the black and white version of Vision. It was kind of interesting with this one because they swapped up the head but then kept the body the same. I don't know, I like it. And then the last one that we've got here is the unmasked version of Star-Lord from Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. And I think my favorite one out of all of these has to be the Doctor Strange because it is the 1000th Marvel Funko Pop, so they actually gave it this kind of like blue color. Do you see what it is here? It's a little bit different than a normal box. Okay, now for this next set, we actually have a miscellaneous selection. Like, these ones here are really cool, but they just didn't have a category to go into. So we've got the Atom Bomb from Garbage Pail Kid, where he is completely glow in the dark as well as an orange color instead of that normal kind of like skin tone. The Spartan Mark 5B with Energy Sword from Halo, and I believe the only difference is the fact that the Energy Sword is red, so kind of lazy, but still fun that I've got it. The Britney Spears, where she has a glitter cowboy hat on, and then this one here is a golden version of Astro Boy, where the normal one actually looks like this on the side here. And like I said, just because these are miscellaneous doesn't mean that I don't enjoy the characters, it's just the fact that Rocket, I only had one of each, and I would even say that Atom Bomb is one of my favorites in my collection. Just because, I mean, come on, guys, look at how cool he is. And now you guys might think that I'm done, but we actually have a couple more around the room, so let's get moving. Like right behind me, guys, we actually have the 10-inch version of Huckleberry Hound, where the normal one is this blue color, but this one here is completely red. Then a little bit farther down in the 10-inch figures, we have this Rainbow Troll, where the normal one looks like this, where it's actually got the rainbow hair and then the normal skin tone, but for this one here, it's completely opposite. Then down at the bottom here, we actually have the Chase version of Galactus, where the normal one, Galactus, is like the color of Silver Surfer, and then the Silver Surfer would be kind of like this orange tone. And then this last Chase is actually one that I just picked up the other day. So this is the first time you guys are seeing it in a video. It is the Black Light Sentinel, and then it even has a tiny little Wolverine in the bottom here. He's kind of hard to see, but it's the same size as the Silver Surfer with Galactus, and this thing is seriously crazy. And also, this is the first ever figure I've got in my collection with this Black Light Chase sticker. Look at how cool it is. And well, anyways, guys, there you go. That is all of my Chases in the collection. And shout out to the Pop Ninja again for giving me this idea for 429 days in a row. Seriously, that is a lot of dedication. Anyways, I hope you guys did enjoy this video, and I'll see you tomorrow.